Well, welcome everyone to Oklahoma City. We are so excited that you chose to have your APPNA spring meeting here in the great state of Oklahoma. Ambassador, we're so honored that you're here, and we've got to make a trip to Pakistan, so I'm going to do that, all right? And like Dr. T said, he was my cardiologist, and I thought I was perfectly healthy, but I went in for a checkup and they did all the tests, and he literally found a 90% blockage in my LAD. And so thank you so much for all that you guys do to save lives in the state of Oklahoma. On behalf of 4 million Oklahomans, thank you for your service to our state. So after I had my heart procedure, I decided, well, I need to make a public service announcement. I need to let Oklahomans know they have to take care of their health, right? And so I had the news media, and they did a big, huge story, and Dr. T was like, well, how come you didn't mention your doctor's name? And I was like, well, first off, I thought there was like something called HIPAA. I go, I can't pronounce your name. And he said, no, HIPAA is for patients. You can absolutely tell them it's Dr. T. So we did that. So I had the news media come out, and he did an amazing job of talking to the news media and really saving lives across Oklahoma. And then to my friend, Dr. Ali, he's a force, is he not? Dr. Ali's amazing. And he led this morning the donor awareness walk, the first ever in Oklahoma. We want Oklahoma to be the #1 state for wellness and health outcomes. But the Pakistani community is an amazing community in our great state. There's about 2,500 Pakistanis here in Oklahoma. And I've just got to tell you that your values are Oklahoma values. Very God-fearing, family-oriented, entrepreneurship. And we want more of that. My only request is, let's make sure Pakistan always beats India in cricket. And for all the Texans in the room, I just got to remind you that Oklahoma is a step above Texas. In all seriousness, there was an article in the Dallas Morning News just recently, and it was called Texodus. It was like, don't worry about the coast. We're having to compete against Oklahoma. More people are moving to Oklahoma than Oklahomans moving to Texas. And that's an amazing accomplishment, and it's because of our quality of life. And when I graduated from Oklahoma State, it seemed like everybody was moving to Texas, but now it's the other way around. And so we want to invite all of you to come move to the great state of Oklahoma. You know, in Oklahoma, we have what we call the Oklahoma Standard. And it means neighbors walking with neighbors through tough times. And what is amazing about that is that our neighbor isn't always someone who looks like us or worships like us. But the Pakistani community here in Oklahoma has adopted that mindset as their own. We don't all worship the same way, but I believe it is our right as Americans, as Oklahomans, to freely worship. And it's the job of the government to protect that sacred right. I just signed an executive order this week to make Oklahoma the strongest defender of religious liberties in the entire nation. We believe in the freedom to practice your faith however you choose. And that's something we're always going to fight for as Oklahomans. Another thing I'm super excited about, I signed the first ever religious charter school in the nation. It's called St. Isidore. It was a Catholic charter school. It's now going up to the Supreme Court to ask that very important question, are we allowed to do that? But here's the deal. I don't think it's the government's responsibility or the government's, I think we shouldn't pretend that parents aren't going to try to educate their children and put their faith or their values in their children, and we want the government to get out of the way. The Pakistanis and the Muslims that I know are some of the kindest, most hardworking people I know. And I just believe that parents should be able to educate their children in line with their values, whether that's in public schools, religious schools, or career-focused schools. You know, I grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, and I just set up an aviation academy in Norman. So now if a kid wants to become an A&P mechanic or a pilot, they can actually start going to this special high school. And by the time they graduate, they're an A&P mechanic. And so we want to make sure that every kid is either college ready or career ready in the state of Oklahoma. And in Oklahoma, we are putting parents in charge of their kids' education, not the government. Also want to make it easy for you to continue to serve your patients in Oklahoma. You know, we want to talk about more residencies. I want to make it easier for more Pakistani doctors to come to the state of Oklahoma. We're making sure that insurance is cheaper. We want to make sure you aren't all getting hit with frivolous lawsuits just for doing your jobs. So I'm working with the legislature and a group of your doctors to pass meaningful tort reform this session. This includes bills that will encourage speedy settlements, a cap on non-economic damages. We're going to reform the lawsuit recovery rules, put guardrails around insurance litigation, and create business courts. Business courts I'm really excited about. As you know, most corporations incorporated in Delaware, and Delaware is starting to stumble a little bit. Elon just pulled his companies out of Delaware, but for 100 years or more, a couple hundred years, Delaware had these chancery or these business courts. And so if there's a business dispute, we want it going to special business judges, and we're going to have that set up by 2026. The Stark Law. We are going to eliminate the Stark Law in the state of Oklahoma. So we're working on that because as a free market, as a capitalist, we love when capital is invested, and we don't believe that the government should stand in the way of starting businesses. We believe in the free market. That provides transparency, that provides better access to hospitals and healthcare professionals. So we don't want to stand in the way of physicians owning hospitals or their own clinics. We want Oklahoma, big picture, as the businessman governor, I've always said it's very simple. My goal is always make Oklahoma the most business-friendly state in the country. And if I do that, that helps healthcare, that helps education, that helps infrastructure. If we get government out of the way and let our companies and our great doctors innovate. But you all provide first-class care for your patients, so I'm going to work to get government out of the way so you can spend more time doing that and less time worrying about all the lawyers and all that stuff. Those of you who call Oklahoma home, we are lucky to have you. Truly believe that. Like they said, I was here in 2022 with this great event, and I had so much fun. My wife didn't join me last time. I said, honey, you have got to come back with me this year because the food is absolutely amazing. The yogurt deal, I can't pronounce it, Dr. T, but that thing was really good, that drink. But you guys all, seriously, we share the same values. You're so family focused. The Tiger Mom, somebody said it earlier. I'm just so impressed with how you promote education to the young people. It's something that Sarah and I promote with our children as well. And it just seems like I could take a lot of advice from you because it seems like every one of your kids are medical doctors. But that's exactly, it's exactly the high level of caliber of people that we want in the great state of Oklahoma. So we're really, truly blessed and honored to have your community here. That's why I spend so much time. That's why I call you my friends. So now I'm going to take advice from the most famous Oklahoman ever. a man by the name of Will Rogers. Has everybody heard of Will Rogers? Okay. So Will Rogers, he gave some advice to politicians. And there was a story he told about a mountain lion who ate a bull. Okay? So it ate this bull, and it was so full and it was satisfied that it started roaring. And it started roaring and roaring and roaring. Well, pretty soon, a hunter heard the mountain lion roaring. And so the hunter shot and killed the mountain lion. And the moral to that story is, when you're full of bull, shut up. God bless you. Thank you so much for having me.